Hello, fellow detectorists. Yes, here I am. I'm back out again at long last. It is the 13th of February, Valentine's Day tomorrow. As most of you have guessed already, my new detector is here. I chose the WS6 Master WS2 version. There's reasons for that. Price mainly. Also, I didn't want all the bells and whistles of the full WS RC control unit. There was features that I wasn't using on my XP Orcs. Not all the time. So I went for the WS6 Master version with the controller on the top of the stem. But I've not been out for a while, and that's mainly, I got my new detector at the end of October, beginning of November. But very sadly, that's exactly when both my parents passed away. My father passed away first, and then 9 days later, my mum passed away. And right up until Christmas, of course, most things went out the window. We had lots of family business to sort out, and which I had help with my closest family. But we got it all sorted out. That was all okay. I know a lot of you have probably been wondering where I've been since. I did manage to come out once the day after Boxing Day at Christmas time, and I did make what I thought was going to be part 1 of today's video of the new detector, because I ran out of time. It started getting dark, and then ever since then the weather's not been good. It's been bitterly cold, minus temperatures, it's been wet, and we're now in the middle of February, and it's a Monday, of course. Today is February the 13th. Yes, of course it is. And I'm off work this week, so I might have 2 or 3 days out this week detecting. So, but this is the first real full day that I would had with the new detector. So I did have some finds when I came out the day after Boxing Day, and I'll put those in a little while to show you what I got. And it was quite good. I was quite pleased with it. I'll be using the standard program number 1, which is the same as the full-size WS. Both the WS6 and the full-size WS got the same programs, and I will be making a couple of changes to that. But mostly it'll be using it more or less straight out the box. Discrimination, I'm going to turn down a bit, and the sensitivity I'm going to turn up just a little bit. Very similar to what I used to do with my Orcs. And something which Gary Blackwell mentions in the XP metal detector videos, the high tone, I'll be using 3 tones. The high tone standard is very similar, very close to the mid-tone. So I watched one of his videos last night, and he shows how to change the tone, the way the tone sounds on the high tone. So I'm going to do that as well, up to what he recommends, which I believe is 881. If you've messed around with the tones on XP WS before, you'll know what I'm talking about. Anyway, we'll get on with it, and we'll see what we find here today. Bye for now. Right then, folks, I've got my first find, actual sort of find. Obviously, I've been doing lots of practicing, with this new WS6. I did bring some items with me to detect over and just get a feel of the tones and what's going on and this, that and other with this first program, with this program 1. I've been playing around with the settings, not too much. I've left the discrimination and the sensitivity how I first set it, but I've just been scrolling through the menus really, and I have had a few finds. Nothing really amazing so far, but I wasn't expecting anything straight away. I've been detecting, I suppose, about an hour. I've just had a button here, as you can see, just an ordinary, quite a big tomback button. That gave me 72 in the ground. One thing I have noticed, one thing I do really like is the horseshoe shape on the display. Because obviously you've got ferrous on the left and non-ferrous on the right. Non-ferrous targets obviously are what we want. I practiced with a Georgian halfpenny and a couple of buttons which I had in my finds pouch from last time, and I've been going over those just a couple of times just to get a feel for it. And one thing I did wish I'd practiced a bit more with at home is the tone settings. I'm finding it difficult to, at first I was finding it difficult to separate the, believe it or not, the iron tones and the mid tones. But I have seen a couple of videos on YouTube which I'm going to look at again, because you can adjust the tones, how high pitched they are and how deep they are, and things like that. The XP aux separates the tones very well. I mean, you can't adjust those on the aux, but the tone separation on the aux is very, obviously I'm used to that, of course. But I'm going to have to practice with setting the tones when I'm back at home, because I honestly can't remember how to do it here, and now I'm out in the field. But I'm managing. Like I say, I just had this button. I'm going to continue at the moment, just see how we get on, see if anything else comes up. But like I say, I'm just really sort of practicing at the moment and messing about with it. The display, oh, if you're wondering about the size of the display, I know a lot of people have probably said, oh, can you see the display very easily? I can see it very easily. Seeing the horseshoe shape and the numbers, there's no problem there at all. Which I did wonder about at first, whether it was going to be easily visible, and it is. So, and I can, if I want to, pressing 2 buttons on the right hand side of the little remote, I can make those numbers even bigger if I want to, and I haven't done that yet. I've been using it how it is, and it's been all right. Anyway, we'll carry on and we'll see what we get next. Here we go, folks. Our next find is part of another button, but I thought I'd show it because it's quite, I don't think I've ever had one like that before. It's got a design on the front, and it's, what is it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 sided. There's nothing on the back. It's one of these buttons where the top has come off the back of it. It gave me about 50, 51, but it was such a good signal. And on the horseshoe graphic on the front of the display, it was showing that it was fairly near the surface. So, because the more colour you get in the non-ferrous section, the closer it is to the coil, which is another feature that I really like on this display. So, which I never had on the aux. Anyway, let's carry on. Here we go, folks. We've got our next find, and I think this is well, what they call a stylus. I think that's a lead stylus for scribing and writing on either wax or slate or something like that. It's been shaped to a point at one end, definitely. I think that's what that is anyway. Possibly Roman. Lovely. We'll carry on. I'm gaining more confidence with the WS6. We'll carry on. Here we go, folks. We just had our first decent find, and it's a little Roman coin. I've been messing about with the settings and trying this and trying that, as you can imagine. I've more or less stuck to what I said I was going to do a little while ago. I've had, I didn't bother showing them, but I've had a few bits and pieces. I just sprayed a little bit of water on it, but I think it's just a little Roman minim. Here we go. Just see a face on there, or a bust on there. That's nice. It's quite a small little one, and it has got part of it broken off, but never mind. It's WS6 Master, or I'll probably call it just the WS6 from now on. But you would have seen those finds I had earlier, and I think it was another little Roman I had before as well. So it's getting the finds. Another thing which I've got as well, which I treated myself to only a couple of days ago, and I've now got the MI6 pinpointer. I had the MI4 for the last 3.5 years with my Orcs, which never let me down. I've now got the MI6, which is paired to the WS6. So whenever I turn the pinpointer on, it cuts straight through to the headphones, which is, I'm finding really good. Just getting used to that as well, because the sensitivity on that is a bit different. It works a bit different. But anyway, there we go. Lovely. Let's carry on. Here we go, folks. We've got our next find, and it's only a fragment, but it's a bit of buckle. Now, my Orcs wasn't getting targets like this. It was finding the odd buckle every now and again, but this WS6, it reminds me of my old Gold Max Power. And I've heard Gary Blackwell again say that the standard program number 1, closely resembles the Gold Max Power program. And that's, I get that feeling. I don't know if it's just my imagination, but I get that feeling as though it really is. And it's finding lots of, a bit of decoration on that. Don't know. But I'm finding, as though that might be the case. It's quite old little buckle, this, by the looks of it. Obviously, I'm in the Roman area because I just had that little Roman coin, but anyway, we'll carry on. Oh, by the way, while you can see it in the frame there, the package deal which I got with my WS6 was the 11-inch coil. I went for the 11-inch one because I like the 11-inch X35 coil on my Orcs. So I went for the 11-inch one on this WS6 deal that I got. So I thought I'd just mention that as well. Some people might ask. Anyway, we'll carry on. Bye for now. Here we go, folks. We've got another find, and it's another little Roman coin. So, doing quite well. There we are, look. Lovely. This one's a bit bigger than the last one. And it's got the two centurions, or they two soldiers, or something like that, I should imagine, with the standards. Is that what they call them? Lovely. Now that little Roman coin, that gave me 71 in the ground, and this one gave me, it's about the same. It's about 72, something like that. That's brilliant. The detail on there. Lovely. Let's carry on. Here we go, folks. We've got an interesting one here. At first I thought it was just a link out of a chain. It looks quite old, and it's got a little pin on it. Now, I've never found anything like this before. It's got, you can see the pin is over the loop there. But like I say, I've never found anything like that before. It must be a type of buckle, of course, I suppose. So that's a first. Lovely, let's carry on. Here we go, folks. Just had another find, and it is another coin, but this time it's a little bit later. If you can see that on there, but there's William and Mary. Now it's either a halfpenny or a farthing. I'm not sure which. It's slightly smaller than a halfpenny, so it could be the farthing, but I've just looked this up online. There is a date. Bottom of it. I think it says 1664. Either 1664 or 1694. Around about that time anyway. So that's lovely. 1600s coin. That's a William and Mary. Brilliant. Let's carry on. Here we go, folks. We've got another interesting little find here. It's only a bit of lead, but it's a little lead disc. It's quite thick, the hole going through it, but it's quite small. What that is, I don't know. Again, I've never had anything like that before. Some kind of lead token, I suppose. Anyway, we'll carry on. Here we go, folks. I've got another find here, and it is a nice one. I've got my first hammered coin with the WS6. Lovely, look at that. I haven't cleaned it or wet it yet or anything like that. I will do in a moment and I'll get back to you. But that is a voided short cross. So I think that's a Henry II, around about that time. So that's lovely, brilliant. Now I think that is the first hammered coin that I've had with the WS6 Master. Brilliant. It gave me about 71. Lovely. Like I say, it's a voided short cross, and I'll give it a bit of water now and I'll come back to you and see if we can see any more detail. Yes, here we go. I've given it a bit of water, just a gentle dab with my towel. Lovely. Can't see much of a face on there, or can we? It's very, you can a bit just about see a crown at the top. Lovely, how about that? The first one of many more, I hope, with the WS6, but it is very, very similar to using my AUX. There's not much difference really between the AUX and this WS6. Like I say, I'm on program number 1. I've turned the sensitivity up to about 95 and the discrimination down to about 5.5, and I've turned the high tone up just so I can tell more of a difference between the high tone and the mid tone, and that's what I've been using today, and that's what I've had these finds on, and it is very, very similar to the AUX. That's brilliant. But I will be on my way home now, I should imagine. I'm not far from my car. I'll be back out again this week sometime to give it another go, because like I say, I'm on holiday this week. And we'll see what we get next time. Bye for now.